I expect my loved ones and the men around me, my siblings and my brothers, or my brothers and the men around me. I expect them to behave professionally or at least right. And that was kind of like what I was wrestling in my head. Well, I kind of do expect them because when at least I try my best to teach them the proper way to act, and when they don't, well, then it's my obligation. I feel like it's my obligation to correct them because I realize that they will go around in the world, and when they see them, they will, oh, that's Enrique's brother. So in a way, I want to ensure that their discipline is good, because it would hurt me for my brother or the men around me to be seen as not proper. I understand we have our like human habits and we fall into temptation, but from my perspective, it's my obligation to do my best to ensure that they have a strong discipline and act proper.
So that they will represent you well?
Correct.
But that's for you then, it's not for them. You want them to look good so that when they say, my brother's Rodriguez, you're like, yeah. But that's not love, that's for your ego.
Well, in the root is I because I love you and because I know there's a lot of suffering. What I've learned, I'm trying to avoid you suffering more than you should, and that's by the habits that I try to implement in you.
But it's still about you. First of all, you want them to look good so that you look good. Secondly, you're trying to make them be the way you think they should be to avoid suffering, you said?
Yeah, unneeded suffering.
I'm sorry?
Unneeded suffering.
But you can't do that. You can't stop another person suffering. You're not God.
Oh, correct.
Have you known that God let everybody suffer that want to suffer? He leave everybody in their hell, right? And he and his son, Jesus, is up there having cafe mocha and pecan muffin. And they looking down and looking at the world suffering. They go, what the? But they're not going to do anything about it. So why do you not want people to suffer or try to stop it at all?
I just feel like I don't think humans should suffer unnecessarily.
But they want to. Why do you feel they shouldn't?
Because there's enough suffering in the world to deal with.
Right, because they want it. That's what they want. Human beings love suffering. They love their pain or misery. They love their up and down. They love their fears. They love their false happiness. They love it. That's why they hold on to it. And if you try to take it away from them, they'll destroy you. He think he's better than me. He gonna tell me now who he think, some little Christian? Or some little, you don't have a right to do that. You're not God. And you can't even stop your own suffering because it's a lot of effort to try to teach someone else not to suffer. Try to make them be right. Have you noticed that? Because the more you try to make them get right, the worse they get.
Well, for me, it's just kind of more like an education. I try to educate at least my siblings. Hey, look, I got burned by touching the stove. Don't touch the stove. And I try to, in a way, I try to educate them.
But that's physical pain. I'm talking about spiritual pain. Fear, doubt, loneliness, jealousy, envy, strife, revenge, suicidal thought. You can't stop that. But you can tell your little brother, sister, don't put your hand on the stove. I got burned. They're still going to put their hand when you're not looking. Because they're not going to believe it.
Yeah.
They're still going to touch it a little bit just to see. But you can't stop that either for the most part, but you can't do anything about real suffering, psychological, emotional suffering. You can't stop that. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to tell me don't touch the stove, that's different. But we're not talking about physical things.
Mm-hmm. Roger, well, would the education of like our emotions, would that be helpful? Or I guess with that, because that's usually what what I'm hoping is doing is I try to educate. Hey, look, people aren't aware, but we have emotions, and a lot of times our emotions sometimes overcome our wishes and our goals.
Right. But you can't, even if you taught them, if you educated them about emotions, it's just going to be knowledge to most people. And they're going to hold on to that knowledge, and they're going to only get worse. And then they'll even repeat what you said, and they'll repeat it word for word, what you said, but it'll just be knowledge and nothing will change. Because most people do that when the Christians hear about Jesus, they hold on to the knowledge of Jesus. When they hear the hold up holy hands and worship him, they know the knowledge about Jesus. But they hold on to the understanding, the knowledge of it, and they never get understanding and they never change. So you can tell them about it, but if they hold on to it, they're not going to change. They have to want to let go of the knowledge so that they can change. That make sense?
You said they have to want to let go of the knowledge?
Yes. But most human beings love knowledge and they hold on to the knowledge and they quote it like nothing going north. A lot of people hold on to the knowledge of what I say here, and the moment someone look at them in the wrong way, the moment someone says something to them, they get angry just like that. Or they become emotional. It's not working because they hold on to the knowledge. You're not supposed to hold on to the knowledge of anything unless you learn how to build a house or milk a cow or pick cotton. You know, that makes sense?
Yeah, I'm starting to kind of like process it.
Do you see that, does it bother you if people treat you a certain way?
I don't agree with it, but it doesn't necessarily change my routine or like how I'm gonna behave.
And so does it bother you when people treat you a certain way?
I would say it does.
And why?
Because I hold myself I hold myself that I believe that I should be, if I care about myself, then I should respect myself, and I should not allow my boundaries to be violated, or
You should allow what?
my boundaries.
To be violated?
Correct.
Because you hold yourself where?
With respect.
And how do you do that?
By treating people good and ensuring that I am brave enough to tell people good morning.
And how would you feel if you didn't hold yourself with respect? Would you be, if you didn't hold yourself with respect, would you expect them to hold you with respect?
No.
So once you stop holding yourself, what would happen to you if you stopped doing that?
I feel like I wouldn't care about what people.
So why don't you live that way?
Because I feel like I care because I actually care about myself. I
But
would
why?
say
Who do you care about?
about myself.
And who are you that you care about? Who is the person that you're caring about?
Well, I would say a child of God.
Who?
A child of God.
Who?
A child of God.
A child of God cares about himself.
Correct.
What the? And so, but who are you?
Well, my name is Enrique.
Okay, that's your name, and you say you belong to God, but who are you?
I would say I'm a student, a learner.
So you're in school. Who are you?
Who am I? A follower.
You're a follower, baby. You're a follower. So who are you? You told me your name. You say you belong to God. You go to school. You follow. You're not supposed to be a follower, man. But you're a follower. That's fine. But who are you?
I don't know how to answer that question.
So then how do
To
you
you.
know you're holding yourself in respect or something?
Because I every morning I wake up and I have a goal to do the best I can for
Well,
myself.
who is this person that you hold in respect?
Uh, for me, it's a couple things, but
I mean, who is this person? Who is this person that you hold in respect?
the son of my father,
Who?
the son of my father,
What?
the son of my father,
Which father?
my the one life has provided me,
The one that what?
the one life provided me.
Your daddy? Your earthly father?
That is a representation, yes.
I know, but do you see that you say you're holding yourself in respect, but you don't know who you're talking about?
I know who I'm talking about. I
But
just
who
don't know
is
how to
that?
communicate it.
Oh, you don't? But who? So you can't tell me who is this person that you're holding in respect? And how do you, because of time, how do you know you're holding this person in respect?
Because the effort that I and the investment that I put in it, it's to me, it's I put all my heart to it.
So what now?
I put the effort that I put to make myself better. I do it with all my heart.
But if you know, have you noticed it not working? You have to struggle with it.
I don't.
You know, have you noticed it's not working?
That
Because as soon as somebody come along, they disrespect you, tick.
I am aware of the emotions that arise in my head.
Right. And so, but have you noticed you can't keep this other person in respect, whatever you said?
Mm-hmm.
You notice that, right? Why don't you stop and just live your life with no expectation? What would happen if you did that?
I feel like I would abandon my family,
What family?
my loved ones close to me.
You would abandon them if you stopped?
If I stop caring, correct.
But your caring doesn't do anything for them. You're hurting them. You're in the way of their growth because you're caring. Have you noticed that? It's not helping them. All they're doing is put a strain on you, trying to be caring and loving, and they're dragging all the life out of you.
Well, for the way I see it, it's kind of like I'm trying to set the example of what I believe is the right way or the proper way. I obviously don't say I don't say that I'm like perfect. That's actually the part of being imperfect is part of the teaching or the example that I set.
Your example is never going to work. How old are you?
I'm 28.
Stop it. I mean, do what you want and suffer, but just live your life. Stop trying to be an example. You're setting your family member up to use you because they think you're more important. They're more important to you than they are to themselves. They're gonna destroy you. They're probably already doing it, but they're gonna take advantage of you because they see your standard as a weakness. Why don't you just live? Don't try to be an example. Don't try to hold a standard. Why don't you just be free and live? What's wrong with just living?
Well, I believe that I naturally have the habits that
You have
don't
what?
habits.
Everybody does.
And I feel like if I just live out those habits, then they're not gonna end up well, and so I have to actively be better, maintain a type of discipline that helps me over.
Wow, I totally understand that. But what you don't know, and somebody want to tell you what's going to happen to you if you continue down that road. He feels like he got all these habits he got to live up to. If he stopped living those habits, let him hold on to that one and let him use that one. That he feels like things are not going to work, right? If you don't hold on to your habits, right? Am I right about that? I don't want to misquote you.
My bad habits. I feel like I have bad habits that I naturally have that I'm trying to overturn or correct by discipline.
By discipline. And you're trying to help others, right? Your folks, you're trying to set a standard and all that kind of stuff, right? If he continued down this road, what's going to happen to him?
He's just gonna continue in his hell. That's it. My thing is, since I've been listening to you, people just overthink.
Yeah.
Just that's all it is, man. Just thoughts. Like I tell her all the time to just stop thinking when she, about anything.
That's your wife?
No, no,
Oh, your friend?
friend.
She doesn't listen, huh?
Girlfriend.
What?
Girlfriend.
That's your girlfriend? Wow. You got a white girlfriend?
Yeah. I'm half white, even though I don't look like it.
All right.
Half gringo.
It's okay. But, and so what would you recommend for him?
You just gotta let your thoughts go. Whatever you think about, just live your own life and worry about yourself. Because you can't change other people, like you said before.
Yeah.
You really can't. You gotta let them suffer until they drop those bad thoughts or thoughts, period.
Yeah. The guy in the black shirt. What you hear what he's saying? You're working on yourself, right? Mm-hmm. What would you say to him? You're walking down the road. You see Jose walk by, and he's trying to be all upright and being good as up. And you would say what?
I would say that you're going to just get crazier the more you try and try and try. You're going to go deeper and deeper into hell and get crazier and crazier. And you got to lay your weapons down, basically. You got to stop. You got to surrender. Become the witness of these thoughts, these bad habits, and don't do anything. Give up.
Is this your first time here?
Yes, sir.
And how did you find us?
A friend, he invited me.
Oh, good. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Alexa, what would you say?
It also sounds like he's trying to do too many things at once, trying to help others, help himself. And when you put all this, you pile all these things and you take other people's burdens on, you can't help anybody that way either. And so I feel like the only thing to do is to stop looking outside of himself and worry about other people. And like everybody else is saying, just drop it. There's nothing wrong with it, dropping everything on the outside and focusing on the only thing to do, I think, and that's to just worry about yourself.
What do you think about that?
I agree. I've had many conversations where family sometimes they request things and I'm like I can't do that. I'm egotistical and all I can do is care about me, because if I'm not right, then I can't help anyone else.
Amazing. So, have you been talking to your friend? Did you know all this was going on? Take the mic for me.
He's told me a little bit about it, but I really didn't. I couldn't give a good advice for him. So I was like,
You could not?
nah,
And
I
why
couldn't. Because I've never really been in that situation as deep as he's been in. So I felt like the only good option would be just to come here, kind of learn and grow from the experience.
Are you working on yourself?
Yes, I am, sir.
And how's it going for you?
It's going amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And do you are you offended if people don't think highly of you?
I used to be, but not anymore.
Not anymore. And why
Yep.
not?
Because I realized that when I used to get offended and everything, it wasn't doing much for me. It was just kind of like an ego trip, oh yeah, I'm like this, I'm that.
Yeah.
But then the moment I kind of dropped all that, I just realized it's all on them, not me. I'm just kind of living.
And so what would you recommend for your friend right here and now, what he said, what would you recommend?
I would recommend just kind of like how everyone has said, just kind of drop it. I feel like the most important thing to you right now should just be you. You just got to live your life. And sometimes, you get the feeling where it's oh, I can't help them and it's my fault or whatnot, but it's not your fault. You can't really control anything, to be honest, except just that straight path on your life.
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
Yes.
You told her?
Yes.
How did that go?
It was difficult, but I, I had to sit with myself alone and I look back and understand that she probably had it worse than I did, and I can't. If anything, I'm very grateful for the amount of sacrifice that she did with little
And
she had.
what did you say to her when you went to her?
I I would listen to her and try to understand.
So when you went and forgave her, what did you say to her?
I love her.
You love her,
That's what I told her.
but you don't love her.
Uh,
Why do you? I thought you went and forgave her for what she done to you.
the way I forgave her was by telling her that I loved her.
You didn't tell her you were sorry for resenting her for what she done to you?
No,
Why not?
because I believe that my love, the fact that I loved her was for me to forgive her, whether she apologized or not. I was forgiving her for me, so that I didn't have to think over through my head of what she's done to me.
Well, you don't have to think about all that. When you realize you have this anger toward her, or your father, anyone, right? You go and apologize for that. Realize, you know what? I'm sorry that I've judged you. I was angry at you. I realize now you couldn't help yourself. And then God will forgive you. You can't go there and say, I love you. You don't love her until you forgive her. And then God's love will come. And then you will love her. That's why you try to help everybody, because you're just like your mama. Did you know you're just like your mama?
I did not know that, no.
You didn't tell him?
Not yet.
Why not?
I have no idea, honestly.
Did you know he was like his mama?
No, not really.
But all those ideas and plans, helping people, setting a good example and all that, it's a mama idea. It's not a God idea. Isn't that right?
I agree.
So how do you feel right now knowing you're like your mama?
I would say
Nick, put the fan over there for me.
I feel it's news. It's news, but it's something like you know that but I've never heard it said out loud, or I've never listened to it. But it's like,
What
yeah,
kind of
I can see
friend are
that.
you?
Well,
He already know you like your mama. Never satisfied. But so why have you told him this?
realistically, we've known each other for right about 3 weeks now.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, you just met him.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder. Okay. You just like your. Do you want to be like your mother?
I would say I have many of her personality traits.
Yeah. Do you want to be like her?
No.
Right. Well, you got to realize she has recreated you in her image. Your thoughts and your emotions are the same as your mother. That's why you feel like you want to help everybody, you want to be there for everybody, because that's what a mother does, and then she destroys everybody. Because it's all about her and nobody else in the family but her. So now once you see that, you got to, she couldn't help it. Her mother did it to her, so she couldn't help it. And once you see that, hey, mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. When you were growing up, and then if she get mad, she's like, oh, Pepe, I did all I can for you, Pepe. Your daddy didn't do right. When she does that, it won't bother you, because God will forgive you. Nice. God will forgive you. But you got to face her and apologize for resenting her. That make sense?
It does.
Then you stop trying to be mama and save the world. And when you were asking your father to help you deal with your mother growing up, did he help you?
He tried his best. He was very patient, man.
It didn't work though? Huh?
Negative.
Yeah. See, your mother's held to pay. Your daddy loved you. He just didn't know how to deal with her. So forgive your father for not protecting you. But if you don't forgive your mother and father, you're headed down the same road that your father. You're going to end up with the same kind of women. You're going to go through the same kind of hell. Your wife going to destroy all your children, and it's going to be a mess. But you got to face your mother and forgive her for what she done to you. Right now, you don't love her. The emotion you feel is hate. Hate and love is the same thing in human beings because it's not of God. So you got to face your mother. What do you think about that?
I thank you.
You're welcome. Amazing, huh?
Hope.
And you're young, so this is a perfect time to be doing it, to start to overcome that. And then all that, those worries that you have, loneliness you have, the sadness and fear that you get, it's going to all disappear when your mother's nature is taken away from you. And it's not her, but it's the hell that made a home in her that will pass on to her from her mother, and so on and so on. Any question about that?
A thought that rose in my head was, is it necessary for her because I assumed someone needs to apologize in order for you to forgive them, but what you have laid out is kind of making me think like, oh, people don't need to apologize for you to forgive them.
Right, they don't. I love the way God has it set up. God has it set up for you to admit that you're wrong for resenting them. Because as a kid, you couldn't help it. As an adult, you start working on yourself, and you're going to see that the whole world is just like you, and you can't help yourself. Something else is controlling you. They all have the same problem. And so when you realize that, you go to your mother and say, I realize now you couldn't help yourself, and I've been holding it against you, but now I can't help myself. I realize you couldn't help yourself. I'm sorry. And then God will forgive you. God is not expecting your mother to forgive you because human beings don't forgive. Our job is to admit when we're wrong. I'm wrong for being angry. Anger is hatred. And when you admit that, that's what it means to confess your sin. I am wrong for playing God. Because all people with anger judge. Because they're angry, they're always judging themselves and others. They're playing God. And as long as you play God, you cannot know God. But once you apologize for resenting them, if your mother or your father say, I'm sorry, I was wrong, nice. If they say, it wasn't my fault, your daddy did that, you just look at her like she's crazy. You just say, hey, I'm just sorry for resenting you, and you go on with your life. Don't have no expectation from them at all. What do you think about that? And you'll be free.
Well,
because right now, if you continue down this path, they're going to use you. Because you're going to try to be right and be nice and try to lead them. They're going to see that as a weakness, even though you're their brother, you're her son, and sometimes the father. They're just going to take advantage of you. And you're going to be saying, I'm so nice to them. I help everybody. And all they do is use me. They take advantage of me. I'm never going to do that again. And then you do it again. Isn't that amazing?
well,
But if you go and forgive, do the did he say about the silent prayer?
I haven't told him about it yet.
What? It takes 3 weeks to tell him that?
We don't really see each other that often, except for like in class, but usually majority of the times, he usually has his own thing. I'm usually doing my own thing, so.
Do the silent prayer. It's at rebuildingtheman.com/silent prayer. And so that, you know how right now y'all are you Catholic?
I was raised Catholic, yes.
Oh, God. Forget about that. The Pope is ticked.
Oh.
Because the Pope has not forgiven his mama.
Oh.
But do the silent prayer. Give him that little piece of paper. Do the silent prayer so you can, this is you, right?
Thank you.
And then I'm going to move on to here. This is you. And you, when you were a kid, your mother made you angry, mad. You to be innocent. You had one relationship with God. You didn't hold anything against anyone. You were looking around and discovering the world, and it was amazing, right? And then one day your mother imposed her will on you, made you mad. And then you went from God into the hell of your imagination, into the wilderness of thought. The wilderness is a thought. The man lost in wilderness into thought. You went into your imagination, and ever since then you've been living there. You identify with thoughts and feelings, and you have grown with that. And so now it just seems to be you. It seems to be natural, yet you have conflict with it, but it seems to be you because you have agreed with evil, not knowing that that's what you were doing. When you agree with thoughts and emotions and all that mess, you agree with evil. And if you go now and see that you're wrong for being angry, hateful, God's going to bring you out of here. And because now you're in the wilderness, but God knows that you want to come back home to the Father. That's what salvation is about. So what He's going to do is bring you out of the wilderness, lost in the wilderness of thoughts. He's going to bring you out, and you're going to see the wilderness that you're in the thoughts, right? You're like, wow, I didn't know that was going on. And you're going to stop identifying with loneliness. You're going to stop identifying with anger. You're going to stop identifying with love. You're going to stop identifying with hate. And what is happening, you're going through the wilderness on your way back to home to the Father. And the Father is waiting. And He looked down there and He see you coming. And He said, hey, my son is coming back. Let's kill a fatted calf and celebrate. Because He's just waiting for you to come back home to Him. And as you're overcoming the wilderness of thoughts, you're on your way back to the Father. And you're going to be fine. You'll have an amazing life. But you got to drop the thoughts. When you drop the anger, you got to stop identifying with thoughts and emotions. Good ones or bad ones. Even the ones that feel good, they're bad. They're lying to you. Because they have you feeling good. As soon as you're feeling good, they're like, remember that time you got drunk? And you be like, yeah, I jumped off the wagon. And now you're feeling bad. And then as soon as you're feeling bad, you go for a couple of days, a week with that, and then they'll tell you, oh, remember how nice your mother was to you? You're like, oh yeah, I remember she used to bring me milk. Now you're feeling good. And so you're going to be up and down, they both are hell. You want to overcome all thoughts. All thoughts are all lies all the time. Amazing, huh?
Oh,
Any question about that?
not at the moment, no.
Okay. When you start working on you and forget about the world, don't feel obligated to your mama, your dad, or anyone. You're not obligated. Your job is to overcome your hell, and then God will make a home in you, bring you back, and He'll operate through you, and you will see how to help in the right way, and if you should help. The light of God will show you that. And it will be without emotions. God is not an emotional God. He's a dispassionate God. Satan is a passionate God. You hear people say, oh, I'm so passionate. I'm just passionate about reading. They're telling you, I'm full of hell. I love my thrills.
Oh.
I love my evil. That's what they'll tell you. You better run. Don't get, if a woman tell you, oh, I'm so passionate, don't marry that one. You married Oprah. Don't marry that one. All right?
Oh.
Don't look for a wife anyway. God will add that if it need be.
Oh.
Don't even think about that. Any question?
Negative. Thank you.
Amazing. Are you doing the silent prayer?
Yes, I am, Jesse.
Right on. Yes, ma'am. Amazing, man. You stay with it. Yeah.
I related to Enrique so much about trying to help your brothers and your sisters, your whole family, trying to...
I want you to know every human being in the world is done or have done the same thing. They're going down the same path that you're on. Only a few get off and get on the straight and narrow road. But everybody's doing the same thing. Yes.
Yeah, so I definitely relate to that a lot. And my dream was always to be financially stable so I could help my family and be the first to go to college so I could help my brothers and blah, blah, blah. And then when they started coming to me like, oh, sister, can you help me with this paper? Or can you help me apply for this loan? Or can you DJ for this party? Or can you co-sign for this? I hated it. I started hating it, even though I built this identity of being the person to be leaned on and look for and all this stuff. And now all I want is everyone to take care of themselves, and I want to take care of myself. And they have a hard time sometimes accepting that, but I don't care anymore, because I realized one thing. If I had to suffer to learn all the lessons so I could get ahead. If I take the opportunity away from them to suffer, they're never gonna learn. Like you had to put your hand on the stove to get burned to learn something. If you're trying to save them all the time, they're never gonna learn. Right. So you take away their opportunity, and it's just best to let people learn on their own and know that everything's gonna be fine. And if it's not fine, it's just the way it was supposed to be, and be at peace about it, instead of you always be like stressing about other people. And that's the only thing I wanted to say.
I can't tell you the number. I do a lot of counseling during the week, and I can't tell you the number of people, especially men, who have gone out, they grew up, they were told they got to help their family first, right? And so they go out and they hustle, and they start making a lot of money, and then they start helping their family, paying their rent or giving them money if they need, and blah, blah, blah. And they start to realize that their family members are using them. They just take every time they need something, they go to the brother or the sister in some cases. And then they realize the family member is using them. They start feeling bad and angry about that. I'm just being used, but they can't stop, because now they're angry that the family member is using them. And so when I tell them what to do about it, how to overcome it, and they stop, the family member turn on them. They start talking about them, and you used to help me. I thought you cared about me. Because now they are mad that you won't give them your money, or you won't let them live up your house, or won't let them smoke your pot. So they're so used to smoking free pot. You know what I mean? They don't care about you. They are using you. They have no respect or love for you at all. And you don't love them when you treat them that way, when you take care of them. Amazing, huh? Absolutely. Good point. Amazing.